Hey everybody, welcome to your first AutoCAD basic training video in a series that I'll continue on with to make sure everybody gets the foundations and setup tools down. These are first to answer everybody's question, what is that? What is that? What is this? Whatever your question is. There's just a training part. It's nothing more than something that was developed to give people a slow progression of tool skills and not be too overwhelming. This drawing is an example. We're going to draw lines just to the right, up, over, down, on and so forth to create this part. And it's really just to give you the basic skills of the math that you'll learn from using engineering drawings. Like, some of these things don't have measurements on them. This is 150 over here, but up here there's no measurement on this vertical line, for example. What you have to do is look over at the overall height using one of the dimensions on one side. In like this case, 250 minus 100 gives you 150 left. And then this 150 here is the same as the 150 up there. You add 150 and 80 here to get the length of this line, which is 230. Or you can see that this is halfway and it's 115, which you can double, and that's 230. So there's certain things like training here, and then tools that you'll see about getting into the placement of circles, which we'll do. And that requires some setup right from the gate. So here we go. What I want you to do is launch AutoCAD from here. As my students, if you're online, good luck. We're using AutoCAD 25. And step one is to make sure you're in the right units. We're drawing everything from the beginning here in millimeters, and I want to make sure that everybody is clear on how to set the whole app, or the whole program is going to give you templates, and the templates are set up for either American measurements or what the rest of the world uses in the international standard. So the first thing that happens is people hit new, and you can't just do that. If you do hit new, it's going to automatically jump to the default, which is just AutoCAD. We need AutoCAD ISO, which is the international standard organization, or the AutoCAD that's set up for millimeter measurements and not inches and feet. So if we open that, from then on, when you go to new, if you just hit new drawing, it'll keep going back to the same one that you previously chose, so you won't have to go and select this every time. So in that case, you can just continue on. Best habit is to do a save as right when you're starting work, so you have everything stored properly and set up in your U drive. So if you haven't done this yet, you're going to go into your U drive. Let's just remember it's the one with the little pencil on it there, the button. You hit this create folder thing. You can see I've been doing this over and over again. Best thing you can do is call it AutoCAD, and then your last name. Here, open it up, or double click on it and it'll open it. And now this is going to keep this set up that way. So every time you go to save, you won't have to keep doing this. It's going to go right into your U drive and then the folder that you are now working in. And then all you have to do is number the files and then put your name at the end of it so I know it's yours. No copying. Alright, so you'll see the file name that you've created and everything is right here, and then to retrieve this for my students, it's going into your U drive, finding the folder that you just made, which shouldn't be hard for you because, and then all your parts are going to be there. Oh, very important. Seeing them, if you set it up this way, you can see I've got some example stuff going on here. Make sure you change the view to large icons, and that'll save it that way, or extra large icons even. I don't know what just happened to my views here. Very interesting. I just got all funky. large icons. That's enough to, just as long as you don't see it as a list and you can actually see thumbnails and preview of your work. It makes life a lot easier. Okay, here we go. The rest of the name of the game here is just looking at these drawings, as I go. I print, or you can just open this up alongside, and that way you can enter the measurements yourself without having to listen and follow along. There we go. Click the line tool, start anywhere, and what's going to happen is you start drawing a line to the straight right, and it's going to have this green snapping system on. That's this button, this tool, object snap tracking, and then polar tracking is actually what we're dealing with. We're using both. Oh, right, also out of the gate. This is something you'll do for later, but while we're talking about these menus down here, you have to get comfortable with what these menus are. These are snapping tools, like the way that this is going to snap when I got it horizontal, or if I go straight vertical, it'll snap. There's different snap things that'll go on down here. So just make sure this is, you hit this arrow and the midpoint one. Click that to make sure the check mark is there. Yeah. You're going to type 100. That's your first line measurement, and it's always going to be is zoomed out or zoomed in is how big that line is going to be. You just zoom in on it. You press the mouse wheel down to get this little hand here where you can pan. So you drag and zoom until you're comfortably where you're going to be. Note that as you work and you pan and use this thing, it's not going to affect anything that you're doing. So you can just continue drawing. 50. Over the snap line, 80. 50. Over 150. Up 100. So it really is just a matter of, it's like playing a video game for the first time. You got to get the hang of where everything is, and the more you use it, the faster you get. 150. This is 150. One of the tracking things that you'll get is point tracking. You can hover over, I'm going to make this line up here the same length as the one below it, and I can find that point in space, and I can drag upwards and then just click, so I don't have to type in the 150 to do that. Then I'm going down 50. There's no measurement on your page. You have to just note this from wherever you can find the measurements. This is going over 230, up 50, over 100, and then here. One of the things that you're seeing with the line tool, it just says it, just to note, you could type close. If you're ever dealing with this, you could actually just type S-E. Why you'd want to do it that way, I don't know, but that is one of the options. And then, okay, should have done this right out of the gate. To delete anything, you're, sorry about that, yeah, clicking on something. Once I just drew a line, and now I'm not drawing lines because I hit escape, and there's nothing selected. You look at your command line and see that it just says type a command, there's nothing selected. Then you can click on this object and hit the delete key on your keyboard. You can also select things by clicking on one side of an entire set of objects, dragging, and then clicking again to the other side, and I'd be able to delete all of that stuff if I wanted to right now. And then I can undo that delete, because I don't want to delete all that. Circle. The next thing is it shows you two different types of circles. Diameter circles, which is up here, and this midpoint tracking thing. Look what happens. I have a circle tool selected, and then I'm going over the midpoint of this line and the midpoint of this line. And now if I go back down to the two midpoint intersections here, I can click, drag, and it places that circle perfectly for me. Just type in 60, done. Now, the radius one works a little bit different. It's also going to be a midpoint. See, I have no tool selected, so it's not looking for the midpoint. If I go to the radius, circle, hover over this midpoint, and start going down, it's tracking that center point, that midpoint. I can also tell it how far I want it to go before it starts that circle by just typing in the number 80, which is the distance you'll see and then it starts the radius measurement circle right where you want it to go. And then you just type in 40 and you're done. So again, this is irrelevant as far as a part. There's nothing that this would be used for unless it's a custom spacing part or something like that. But really, it's just a practice series so you can learn these basics. So hopefully that's a nice, comfortable, easy to follow guide for everyone. Make sure you hit the save as, again, hit save. Yes, you do want to replace it. You can actually, at that point, once you have the save name here, you can just hit the save button and it'll update the save, and then you're guaranteed it's here. I already just, whoop, that was a different one that I did. That's the one. So, I'll be back with 1.2.